and I'll give a couple minutes for people to just hop in. And I'll wait a second to tell you all why I'm late. I have no good excuse, but I'm super excited to have Stefan here with us today from MagNFT, talking to us about everything that they have going on. I've seen so much MagNFT just popping up in crypto voxels on Twitter and working with all of these artists and collectors, which I think is so amazing. And I'm excited to get into that in just a couple minutes. And I'm just gonna make sure if you guys are in the chat, feel free and say hi so I can know you're all here. But I'm super excited to have you on today, Stefan.
Thank you, and I appreciate your invitation.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Awesome. Hey Xavier. Hey Brookhawk. Thanks for coming on, guys. Sweet. I'll just give it another like 45 seconds because I know we're already starting late. And then we'll hop in. And everything's recorded, so this will all be up on YouTube after as well.
And
Thanks
I'm
for
sure I'm
hopping
not the
in,
only
guys.
one that's going to make a comment on that badass hat, man. I love that. Wow.
Thanks. Normally I'm
Yeah,
not wearing a hat during the stream, but that's just how it is today. Nice to meet you, MagNFT. Oh, XIBot
exactly.
here. Is that how you XIBot? Sorry if that's not how you normally say your name, but I see you on Twitter. Nice to see you here.
Yeah, Exabyte also is with the Roll Social Money. So he has a
Got it.
project going on with the Roll currency.
Very
And
cool.
yeah, and he's very supportive, very also promoting other artists also. So the Roll
Yeah.
community is a really good community also. So
Oh yeah, of course. And I've seen XIBot on Twitter. Oh hey Diego, nice to see you here. Awesome. Okay, let's get started. People are coming in. First off, I want to say a big apology to everyone. We were supposed to start at 1 p.m. my time, Central Time, and I totally had it in my head at 2 p.m. And I don't know where I got that number from. I think I was just looking at the wrong time zone, Eastern Time, and it's never happened to me before on this stream. So a big apology to you, and I'm very sorry about that. But
no,
I
no,
guess
don't be. Yeah, we're just
I'm
talking
human.
about yeah, a few minutes, so it's fine.
Thank you. Hey, Dat Ogar. Hey, a lot of money. Awesome. Everyone's saying
Eh,
nice to meet you.
yeah, hey,
Um,
Alota.
yeah, and I have.
That was a great. That was another great podcast with a lot of money. Wow.
Oh, that
Oh, that was amazing.
I love that one. That was so fun, and I had like admired a lot of Money's work for so long, and then kind of like getting a little bit of behind the scenes and getting to talk to him and more in depth was really nice, and kind of like learning the guy behind it all. And yeah, this hat I have number 2 of 100. They're limited. Normally I'm not wearing this on the stream, but I let someone else get number 1, and then I took number 2. Even though
Oh,
I also have an
nice.
artist proof, but these are fun. Oh, you're right. Thank you, Dat Ogar. I want to change that. That's because of my tardiness today. That was a little off. Anyways, let's get started with this. I am really excited for the show because I feel like I've seen MagNFT, like I said, around CryptoVoxels, around Twitter, and I've seen you guys promoting other artists in such a cool way, and even collectors. And I don't know a ton about the reason why MagNFT was created and where your journey in creating MagNFT and your process of it and who you're working with. I kind of just want to get a little bit before we go into that, like the behind the scenes of like who you are, and how you got to this point of launching MagNFT.
Well, MagNFT is almost a what I'd say 2017, so almost a 3 year gathering. I've been in the crypto sphere back. I started in March 2017.
Okay.
Um, got into Bitcoin by the Bitcoin Embassy in Montreal. So there was a Bitcoin embassy in Montreal run by Francis Pouliot, who's a
Yep.
very well known in the Bitcoin community. He invited me to a Bitcoin party, and I'm not a programmer. I'm not a techie. I'm just an average guy. My degree is in philosophy. So when I went there, it was like jargon for me because I didn't
Mhm.
understand half of the things they were saying. But what I could see was my father comes from a a well-known computer company, and he was an executive. And what I was hearing was stuff that traditionally that were barriers for some companies trying to do P2P transaction, right? Peer to peer. Now, you know, peer to peer has been around for a long time, not on the open ledger concept, but if you remember Napster would have been one of the first peer to peer where, you know, you could easily download the music and anything. And we know what happened with that after for the copyrights. So I was listening to these guys and I just wanted to get involved in some way because they, you know, you had these, sorry to say that there, but we had these kids that were 19, 20, 21 years old, so smart. Like, I mean, so smart. It just like blew my mind, you know, the knowledge that they were able to have and just to, you know, to acquire and building this thing that nobody knew about yet. Now, we came around September, we had that bull run that came at the end of the year and that just blew it away. I started doing a lot of meetups. So I would do, because I got to know a little bit about Bitcoin and how it worked. I had a lot of people that would come to Francis and say, "Hey, can you do meetups and just do the basics?" And Francis wasn't into that because it was taking time away from him. And he came to me, he says, "Hey, you want to go and do a meetup? You know, I'm gonna send it out." And he says, "I'll come and support you, but he says I'd like you to host it. You're a good speaker." And I said, "Ah, sure, no problem." So we started actually, and then I got into with another partner named Pascal, and we started to do like real big ones. We had at one point we had 120 attendees. We had project like I met people from the Made Safe project that was a coin. Met a few guys from Trezos. And also, but that was all when we were talking back in September of 2017. There was only financial. The only thing
Mm-hmm.
you could do with a Bitcoin was what? Trade it. That's about it. And I knew that for it to be successful, it had to have a utility for the user. Okay. That was the only way I saw Bitcoin ever succeeding. We had to have applications, whatever. We had to get the general population to use it, and just trading people would get into it. So that's when I found Ethereum. And when I thought in Ethereum and saw that it was a concept of contracts where nobody can, I know, do anything. It's a contract between two wallets, and it's done. It's executed the minute that you accept it. I thought, there we go, we got a hit. And the first project I actually ever found was Syndicator. Syndicator is an Asian project where actually usually, so they have all these traders and they check their performance. And then what you can do is you could buy their forecast. So
Mm.
some like if the guy had an 87% accuracy on his forecast, then you could buy his, you know, his projection. And when I saw that, I said, there we go. We need stuff like that. And then I started discovering all the other projects. Eventually, I found one of the first real, like, how can I say, use case I saw was Cent. I've been with Cent since November 2018.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I got onto Cent, I saw, wow, there we go. And I saw Cent for me there. It's not a lot of people are going to throw me oranges. I saw it like a Facebook. I saw it like a Facebook. And I saw it a Facebook meaning like, you know what? You could write about anything. And if, like, example, I was always using this example. Yeah. You write a joke, you laugh at it. Wouldn't you give 5 cents, 10 cents? And people say, yeah, if I had Facebook could do that and, you know, somebody made me smile or laugh, hey, 5 cents, here's 5 cents. And that's why I saw Santa had the potential.
It's
So I
funny
got really,
you're saying that scent was like the first thing you got super excited about because with my show with Matthew from Scent, he had that same kind of like epiphany and he was like, "This is it." So that's interesting to hear it from another really early user on Scent. So that's great.
yeah. And I, to the point that I even had, when I got onto Sant, I was a little bit like Matthew. So what I was doing was promoting Sant at the maximum. I even created the Twitter handle Sent Users.
Mm.
And Sent Users been up since November 2018. And just started promoting the place like crazy. Like I just, I know I was a little bit like, you know, Matthew had said on your podcast, he wouldn't leave Max and Cameron alone until
Yeah.
he joined the team. Well, I was a bit like that. So what happened was, sorry, I have my son here because of the COVID.
Oh,
So
no worries.
yeah, and So what happened is, I basically tried to do a little bit the same thing as he had done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got really involved. Problem with Scent was this: when I got into Scent, it was more oriented towards project. You remember when Matthew told you he owned CryptoKitties,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's how he found out NFTs. There was not all their marketing was all oriented towards. Now they had the partners that invested on Scent. um, um, uh, if I'm correct, it's called Aventum. I think it is from McKee, who started to try to attract projects like real projects, like not necessarily oriented towards a non-fungible, more towards actual projects. One day I saw this guy come on, and his name, very well known today, was named Connie Digital. Now this guy comes on, and the way that it showed up on Scent. So you had the thumbnail with the art, you had the subject line of the art, and the article. For a user, it was so captivating, and that's when I went, man, we got to try to get more artists onto this platform. What Scent really got me excited, I'd like to share one story. This was prior to NFT. To tell you the concept of that 5 cents, there was this, at that stage, my main project was called Satoshi Initiatives, that still exists. Satoshi Initiative, a lot of people were seeing that were promoting Scent. There was this Indonesian rice farmer comes to me, and he says, how can I make money on Scent? I had a lot of people that would do that, right? How do I make money? You get that every time. But this Indonesian rice farmer sent me a logo of like a Ringmaster, which was my username. And I went, wow, that's pretty incredible. And I said, well, listen, since you're a rice farmer and you're trying to make money, I said, write about your life. I said, and try to put about 500 words to add content. So I said, take pictures of where the farm you work, your daily life. What is it like? Because he was very poor, right? He was like really poor. He wrote a beautiful, beautiful post. He made enough money that the next 2 days later, 3 days later, he contacts me via Discord and he sends me a picture of his daughter with a bike. His daughter's about 8 years old.
Wow.
8 years old.
I just
And
got goosebumps. That's
he goes to
amazing.
me and says, this is because of you. God
Mm.
bless you and thank you. Okay.
Wow.
Matthew actually did an interview with him after. Matthew had the podcast he had at that time. Let's have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't even towards NFTs. He was just trying to find a niche. The niche of NFT was not yet found. And yeah, so those are the kind of stories I've always looked to make adoption. And by bringing in adoption, you need to support others. If you don't support others, they're not going to come to you. So Satoshi Initiatives always has been about supporting others on the blockchain to utilize it so they can be a mass adoption. That's where MagNFT comes in. So now we got Connie that comes on Sand, starts really doing well. We had the second artist that got traction was named ClayCal. I don't know if you saw him, ClayCal 303.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really cool. So these guys, he was making these characters with the Scent logo a little bit everywhere on the face. He actually got McKee actually made some pins that you can wear and gave them away, and that's how the NFT really picked up on Scent. It was hard to get into the team at Scent. I had also personal issues that came along afterwards. I unfortunately went through a divorce, so it was rough. So unfortunately, I was on and off. But eventually, the concept of what could I do to support artists, because I wanted more artists to come on Scent, and I love art. My parents' neighbors is the biggest uh, gallery broker in Canada.
Wow.
They're called Coleman's. So Coleman's Galleries is the biggest broker of art dealer here in Canada. So when I was young, I used to go to galleries, right, with the cocktails and hear all the stories. I knew how artists would pay 45% of their
Yep.
sales to the brokers.
Yeah.
So I went, my God, this is it. And the other thing that artists didn't see, the biggest challenge for any broker is fraud. And I truly believe that the blockchain can solve that solution. Counterfeits. can't counterfeit an NFT. So I just got into it. The mag came that one day I said, hey, let me try to do something that will promote other artists. Let me make a magazine, see how if people like it. And after the first issue, it was just like the first issue was such a success. People got into it that I just kept on doing it and still doing it to this day.
How many issues are there total?
So right now, so 13 plus 3, we're up to 16 issues. So
Wow,
it started
that's
December
amazing.
3rd of last year. It's a bi-weekly edition. Never been late except this week because of the COVID and everything.
Yeah.
So for the first time, so that's why I totally understand and
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We should have published the 14th edition of this year, the 14th edition of this year, this Saturday. But unfortunately, for the first time, I had to put it a week off for next Saturday, whatever, being so chaotic, and
Yeah.
everything is starting to reopen here in Canada. So it's a little bit chaotic at the same time.
No, absolutely. That's such an amazing story. Just reflecting on everything that you just said. I think your path was so interesting, and I connect with a lot of it because in the beginning, for me also, when I first got interested in really Ethereum and then started learning a lot more about Bitcoin, I was going to meetups local to my area, and the meetups were tiny, and they were like in the basement of a bar in the back corner, and like just totally not what they are today. And well, not exactly today, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
As
absolutely.
yeah, as it went on. So I think that's really amazing that that was kind of your you had someone take you kind of like under their wing and like push you to be almost this information source for other people. That's really amazing. And that I'm sure not only you were teaching the people at these meetups, but also I'm sure people in your personal life as well.
Yeah.
Because we all know how that goes. Once we get really excited about something, we talk about it nonstop, and everyone else wants us to shut up about it. So I totally connected with that, and it's so interesting that Scent, and Connie also. I mean, huge shout out to Connie. I'm super excited to have Connie on the show next week. But Connie, I cannot tell you how many times Connie has been mentioned in these streams of Connie introducing people to Scent, crypto voxels, and just being kind of this like first adopter of so many different things. I even saw OpenSea posted a tweet. He was the first to um, use the like NFT plugin that they had just launched, but he's just on the forefront, and to know that he's brought other people's interest into the space is really amazing to hear. And for you, I mean, having art on and an interest in art and growing up in galleries, and then seeing how those two worlds that you're interested in collide is super special. And I love that the Satoshi Initiative and initiative to just help bring people in is just really amazing. I
The
would
good
love to know. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the good news is that in 2 weeks I'm actually meeting Terry, so Terry Coleman.
Oh,
So
no
I'm
way.
actually good. Yeah, I'm going to be sitting in their offices
With a pitch.
um, and pitch. He wants to know because he saw the my father spoke to him and hey, did you know my son is now doing magazine of art? And then Terry went, what do you mean art? He's never been in art. He said, well, it's not really art. And then he started showing it. And you can imagine when you're showing like some Trevor Jones and artists like that are making, 4-digit salary on one piece. Coleman went, holy smoke, what is this? Art selling for 5 grand. It says like, wow, I have a hard time selling a piece at 5 grand. I need to gather 300 people so I can hope one of them will bid on the.
Right.
And also, yeah, that is going to be exciting, and I can't wait to see what comes out of it.
That's super exciting. Keep everyone posted on that.
Yeah, well,
Because as more galleries start to adopt some of these things, I think we'll start to see some really interesting things going on. And not only that, also empowering other artists directly, directly to the artists, empowering them to put their own work out in the space is really interesting. For the magazine, they're really beautiful, first off.
thank
So
you,
congratulations on that. And I think
thank
the
you.
layouts, yeah, the layouts are always really well done. And I was surprised when I think there was a few pieces of mine in one of the magazines, and I was just like, whoa, this looks cool. You know, I didn't have any crazy expectations. I thought, awesome, like I'm honored to be in it. But then I saw it and I was
And
like, this is awesome.
and the most essential thing since the beginning, okay, was that every NFT that was posted on the magazine, it was a hyperlink to the actual profile, not to the OpenSea where I could get a referral, nothing. The importance for me, the what was important for me was that the artist felt like this was for him.
Mm,
You understand? That he didn't feel that he was taking an advantage in any kind of way. That I wasn't trying to monetize on the art on the second, like on a like a affiliate program or
right.
something. Exactly. How I decided to try and gain revenue on it was then selling the actual NFT via Codex Viewer, where you can purchase the actual magazine itself, and it comes with the PDF file of the magazine.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah.
if you go on the if you go on our OpenSea front, but just do MagNFT, but make sure not to pick the storefront to pick the actual user. You will see there I have older publications. I sell them for 0.05 ether,
Oh,
so
wow.
about $10. Yeah,
Yeah,
10
not bad.
$15. And when you buy it, what you're getting it is you're getting the token with the NFT. The cover is the NFT of the actual cover of the issue. But if you go on Codex afterwards, you will see that there's hidden files that you'll have access to. And inside the hidden files, you'll have two different PDF. One that is for Web 4 HTML, Web 5 HTML, and one that is also for print. So
Ah,
then, yeah, so you can then actually print it, view it, and you can do what you want with it. So that's how we try. That I try to monetize a little bit on the magazine.
yeah, no, absolutely. That's great. There's a good question. Samsonite asked, love your mags. How do you put the digital versions together? What programs do you use?
So we use a specific program. I forgot what's the platform. So the platform it's a newer platform. We have some bugs and some issues. The reason I had picked that specific one was I love the movement of the magazine, the way they had made it. It made it feel like real
Mm-hmm.
with the flipping sound.
Yeah.
That's what got to me. I said, okay, yeah, you
It
know
hit multiple senses, your
exactly.
visual, your, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So
audio.
yeah, so that's why we used it and been using the same platform ever since.
Yeah, no, I think though it's a really great platform, and I can even the nice thing is that I can view them on my phone as well. Because you would think that maybe it would just work well on desktop, but it works really well on the phone,
And it's
which I
great to
like.
show people.
Yeah.
It's a great tool. If you guys are talking about art and NFT and that you're trying to explain it, yeah, I know not to brag, but open the magazine up because there they get a physical look at the art, so it looks like any canvas. But then they go, "Oh, look, this is beautiful." And you're like, "Yeah, click it. I'll show you what it is." Then it brings you to
Mm,
an NFT, so it's easier for them to conceptualize a
right.
little bit of what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it brings it into one. Like I bring so many people to crypto voxels because I want to show them like something that the artist or the gallerist has built that shows many bodies of work versus like going to OpenSea and clicking into each one of them and it looks more like a GIF than a piece of art.
Yeah.
So no, I totally agree with you. How many editions are there of each magazine of the
So
NFTs?
Oh, so there, for the actual what I started to do. So previously, like as you can imagine, I was alone in the team, and now I have a few collaborators that I'll like to mention after because they've been so amazing for me. They've been great support. Sven or Bolage there is one of them. His support is unconditional and it's just amazing. Um, so now what I do is that I sell to try to monetize a little bit more to try to cover the cost of the platform of making a magazine. Is I'll have a one-on-one edition with the original cover of the NFT,
Mm-hmm.
and that one I will let it go for auction or a higher price. Now the other ones, what we'll have is again you'll have the cover page of the magazine, but you'll have on the side a badge because we also sell. So you can buy a subscription for the magazine,
Mm.
and how that would work, for example, is that right now they're listed at 0.75 ether, and if you buy one today you get all the previous issue since 2020. So if you would get one today you get 13 NFTs coming your way within the next half an hour. They're done manually, of course, but I send them manually, and you would get the 13 issues. And on the actual cover of the issues, that one would have what we call a badge cover, a badge edition. So that's the only thing. But apart of that, I'm not trying to make anything fancy. I want it straightforward. I want it easy for people to know to be able to access this. That's why that each issue is always free for viewing on the website. So any issue you can view it for free. You can show it to your friends. It's there for 2 weeks. So if you're a featured artist, you got 2 weeks. You can show it to all your friends and everybody. And yeah.
No, it's very cool, and I like the way that it's laid out on your website, and it's pretty awesome to give that to everybody for free, and then I have something that's a little bit more special for the ones that want to collect. So how did you get introduced to CryptoVoxels? Because I know you have a gallery in CryptoVoxels, and I think you've put up the badges in there as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. So how did you get into that?
I actually had a taste of CryptoVoxel way back. I think it was maybe March of 2018. Went in, saw what it was, kind of never came back. Then we had Minbase. Remember Minbase started to do those meetups, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw Minbase, because since always being in the NFT community, when I saw Minbase doing their, and they had a beautiful parcel. I don't know why they don't do those meetups anymore, but they used to do really, and I think they're the forefront in a way of the venues we see today, because the first venues and meetups was Minbase, and the last one they had made was really successful. There was over like 60, 65 attendees there. So once Minbase got me to go back on CryptoVoxel, that's when I was able to link the virtual world with the artistical world. You remember their back wall, you had all these little squares, and you had
Yeah,
all
they had
those
the
different
calendar thing.
yeah, exactly. With the thumbnails also in the
Yeah.
back with all the different artists and everything. That's when I knew that visually that's beautiful. It's essential because I always tell, like, listen, I'm the first one to say it. Users want simplicity. They don't want to understand. They don't want to learn. They want to use. They want something that they can use, go quick, understand it, and leave. And one thing, CryptoVoxel should win an award for Ethereum, because the guy's working alone was there, but he
Yeah.
built something that is absolutely and like out of breathtaking. Like you remember when I started, there's these really smart guys, and he's one of them. Like, wow, look what he did! It just blows my mind. Just absolutely blows my mind. You know. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then when I got back into Minbase, then naturally, Well Shark also had, and heads up to Well Shark also was a good supporter at the beginning. Offered me land, which is I'm lucky. I'm right in the district. I'm right in the middle of it, and then build myself. I had built the CryptoVoxel. It's nothing compared to these guys. Hey, a lot of money, like a lot of money when he does. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
not just him, Skinny, and all these other guys. Yeah, and you too. Actually, you know what, Josie? Here's a fact though. So after the mint base, I started taking a walk. I saw the beautiful. I remember tweeting about it. I remember tweeting about it, and I actually had one of the issues. I had a crypto voxel section where I had featured that
Oh, that's
that mask
awesome.
of
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. That when I saw that too, I went, "Oh my god! Imagine in VR." I don't have a VR set, but I couldn't. Like I said, "Oh my
Oh,
god!"
you'll have to get
And look at
one.
the guys at Avastars, what they did with
Yep.
those
That was
AT-AT from
Devil.
Star Wars.
Yeah, Devil built the Avastars build out. It was amazing. Yeah, and it is interesting. I know there's like some tension about the height for some of the parcels being enforced, but it is nice that Ben is keeping kind of these older builds how they are, and it almost makes it
Yeah,
part of like in my head it makes it part of like a historic district. You know what I mean? Like I have a lot of houses around me, and they you can't do certain things to them because they're historic. So it almost gives me that idea like these were made a while ago. Yeah, they
yeah,
broke the rules, but they're really cool, so you can't touch them anymore, kind of
yeah,
thing.
exactly. But not just
Um,
that. No, also, how can it's a little wink. You know what I mean?
mhm.
It's like a little wink to the people that helped build it, and that's
Yeah.
what and all you. good show on him. You know what I mean? That's a good
Absolutely.
way of saying, you guys did help me, so no, we're not touching your stuff. We don't
Right.
care. The rules don't apply on you because you're part of the team in a way. You know?
Um, yes, no, I totally agree. Jimmy from Avstars, why did I think MagNFT was going to have a French accent? He said.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah. Born. I live in Quebec, so I live in Canada and Quebec. I am French. I live in Montreal. I'm purely bilingual because we're surrounded by English. So we go south, we got you guys down there with New York and Chicago. We go west, we got Ontario and Toronto. So naturally, my English is not that bad. My vocabulary is limited. That's what it is. So
oh,
my accent is not that thick, but my vocabulary is limited.
no. He says, that's why. I've been to Montreal once. It was beautiful. I loved it. I'd
I
love
tell
to go
people
back.
if you live in North America and you don't have the money to take a plane to go to France, come to Montreal.
um, that's awesome. And if you guys have more questions in the comments, keep posting them. So with the magazine, I do wonder when you are creating a new issue. Are you putting in artwork that just seems very popular, like the week that you're gathering things, or are you like fostering different relationships that you like decide what will go in the magazine at what time? Like, what does that process look like?
So I try to actually do both. So for traction, right? I will always try to get a name. So like you, Josie, or a lot of money. So it will capture the traction on Twitter and everything. But my goal remains that rice farmer, and I'll give you the version of rice farmer on the magazine. Peter Wells. He does those hand drawings of the Bitcoin girls, right? He came to me one time on Twitter. Says, "How can I get featured on the magazine? I'll send you an NFT." And I said, "Listen, no, I had never seen his art." I said, "Don't need to send me anything. I'm putting you on." Because I thought this guy had so much talent. He's this little Mexican guy down, in the South, try to make a little living, with his passion. And when we featured him that week, moderates
Yeah.
went and bought his first piece for, I think it was 333 US dollars. He came back to me and like, dude, I just sold my first one for you. Like, he was
That's
so happy,
awesome.
that, yeah, that's what gives me my chills. That's
Yeah.
that's priceless. Nothing beats that. Do you understand? I'm a little nobody in Montreal that made the difference for somebody. Wow. There's nothing, I can't ask for anything more. So I try to balance. I always try to do like a 25% while I have one or two, medium to well-known artists. And the rest, basically what it is, Twitter feed. I'll see somebody, a name I don't know, that only has 22 followers, but has this amazing art. Boom, like it, put it on the side, and he's going to be featured in the magazine to hopefully get him enough traction to get him started. And there's two reasons for it, not just for the sales side. Like you guys, you artists are amazing because emotions are more important than the financial. You rather have somebody smile at your piece than give you $5 with a bad face.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
so yeah, so that's the joy in it. If I'm able to provide a smile on somebody else that I do not know and able to get them all as excited as I am about this technology, then hey, it's goal achieved. Goal has been achieved. you know a lot of people do come to me. They do ask me, how do I curate? there's no really there's no really way. I see something, I like it, I think I want to share it with the public. It's my medium, and so I use my medium to share to other people's what I think it's great. Now, do I touch things that I don't like? Yeah, I do. Also look at the trash art movement that came out. Not saying I don't like trash art, but what I'm saying, it was so controversial. It was the first time that I had, not hate mail, but I had people coming to me, how dare you put this artist on? Don't you know he did this? Don't you know he did that? I'm no longer supporting you. And it was hurting my feelings because I am, I'm not an artist at
Yeah.
hand, but I am at heart. And at heart, I was like, okay, what am I going to do? But with the support of people like and Jim from Avastar also, he came out. And I just got to say too, also he's been another big supporter of MagNFT. There's been a lot of them, and I know I'm gonna forget names, but thank you for all the people that really supported me from the beginning. It means a lot.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I love that kind of organic way of curating. It does feel a little less curated, which is nice because it's
Yeah,
as something comes up and as you connect with a piece, it's almost like a personal journal, a personal work that you are getting inspired from all of these different people to put in the magazine, which I love. And I also love that you also want something that might be like popular and hot, but you're really scoping out and looking for newer artists that maybe don't get enough exposure. And to be honest, a lot of the newer artists who are I've gotten a lot of DMs and messages about artists who are discouraged because they can't get onto Super Rare or they can't get onto a platform that you have to have certain admission like status for.
yeah,
So it's amazing that it's not for you. It's not just looking at who's selling the most on these sites and these
no,
platforms. It's really just finding work that connects with you, any price point, any person, and celebrating it within the magazine. So I really appreciate that, and I'm sure a lot of people watching here really appreciate that because it's I mean, I know some people from watching these know my stance on it, but I don't necessarily like um, curated platforms, at least for myself,
yeah, yeah, I
because
heard it.
they
Yeah,
go against a lot of what I believe in.
yeah.
So I think it's amazing that you're doing that. So thank you. And you're
Thank you.
thanking other people this whole time, which is awesome and just tells a lot about your character. But thank you for doing that because
But
that's really what helps the space go further.
and you learn so much. Like example, somebody that's watching, I know probably is Violette. I didn't know Violette was Travis Jones' wife, right? And so you're doing, and I didn't know until the end. So I'm doing all this work on her. I'm reading, and like her artwork is so cool, Put her on the magazine to have then Trevor Jones come around and say, "Hey, did you know that was my wife?" And it's like,
It's
"Oh
like, no, I
God,
didn't
no,
know.
no, I didn't know, man." And it's like, and also you also create these really special bonds with people that for me it's very special.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and and also the magazine also kind of evolved now that I'm also adding projects, right? We saw
Mm.
Avastars,
Yep.
we saw also the market, the rental place with Bolage, who's renting ad space, stuff like that. So I don't want too much in there, but at the same time, it's just also
It's
those are the
organic.
people that
Right.
yeah, they supported me. By supporting me, you just want to give back. You want to
Yeah.
give back somehow, some way. So that
Yeah.
that's how I came about. So of now adding like sometimes projects and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
the best thing I think for the magazine though is I try to also keep it short. The reason why is I got stats on every page. I know how many people click, how many hyperlink, and I had noticed that I had went up to 48 pages once. The last 8 pages were not viewed as much as the
Mm.
first 30. So the attention span, the reader, is roughly around that 30 to 36 pages is where you'll get the nice even numbers for everybody. Because then it kind of sucks because when you put somebody at the end of the mag, you may not get as much traction as the beginning. So I'm trying to make it so it all even plays out at the same time. So
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And playing with even um switching up, like heavy hitting like ads or pages or whatever throughout different pieces of the magazine is an interesting concept as well.
yeah,
So
and I try to make it also not too much written. I make like a lot of people tell me, oh, there's not a lot of like written content,
it's a
and the reason, well,
visual, yeah.
yeah, and the reason why is that I tell them why because it, I hope you understand the way I put it. Josie, my art is my magazine.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
totally.
that's yeah. Since I'm not an artist, I always like I went to philosophy because I can draw. So, you know, and I really every magazine when I push it is like for me, wow, there's my art form. That's how I can create and feel that I have a little sense of belonging in the
Yeah.
community.
And also, not only that, I mean, and you're getting to know the artist, which is also a nice benefit. But I also, before I fully transitioned to art, I was doing a lot of graphic design for different crypto companies. And each tweet that I made, each website page that I made, like I felt like that's my art. So I totally get what you mean. Like design work, outside of just like purely art, but like design and graphic design work, it's a lot of work and it does take a good eye. Not everyone can do it. So you are an artist in your own. So
Like
congratulations
that
on
rocks.
making them look really good. Samsonite asks or said, I think it'd be cool if artists could curate their own favorite artists on a platform. So if you really like a particular artist, you can follow them and discover who they like too, versus a platform curating everything. That's a cool
That's true.
idea. That's a
Yeah,
really
that
cool
is a
idea.
pretty. That is a cool idea.
Because there's also, especially in our space, there's so many artists who are celebrating other artists, which you don't always see, or at least I personally don't always see, in more of like the traditional artists that I follow. And the only time you really see other artists promoting other artists is if they have like a collaboration with them, or
Exactly. That's what I was
you
gonna say.
know.
Look at the guys. Like I'll give you a big example. Skinny.
Hmm.
Skinny. We gotta give this raise our hat to this guy.
Yep.
He brought on collaborations with like examples, Rare Design, and
Yep.
yeah,
That piece was
and
amazing.
like wow,
So
like
good.
the stuff they're doing is just. But these guys, the Skinnies, the Alaramati, all the guys are doing collabs with somebody that is less known. We gotta, in our once in a while in our head say, man, thank you, because
Yep.
these guys are just as important as anybody else, because they're bringing in these artists, giving them traction, which is the hardest thing to get.
Yeah.
For an artist, that's it's the hardest thing to get is traction. And
Yeah.
Skinny he's doing this on his free time. He's doing this, so. And these guys are really busy. Like Skinny's got a business. He's a tattoo artist, and now he's got three
And a
kids running
father.
around the
Yeah.
house everywhere. Yeah, exactly. And he's still doing it.
Yeah.
So there's a certain kind of little praise that you got to give these guys. Like Skinny for me is one. Skin Going back to Connie, like Connie and Skinny have one thing that they're good at, and you don't get that in all artists. They got a business side to them.
Hmm.
And when you combine business and art, it's unbelievable how far you can go,
Oh yeah.
because you got the entire skill set to market your own self.
Yeah.
And once you have that ability, then the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
it's interesting you say that because I feel like a lot of the artists that I speak with, um, and a lot of this is through DMs, and I get a lot of DMs. So if anyone listening has DM'd me and I haven't responded, like hit me twice, because it's really hard to get through all of my messages. But it's a lot of new artists who don't know how to get themselves out there, and some artists do get that lucky break of collabing or being accepted on a platform or whatever it is. But it would be really awesome to see that scale and get bigger, and because there's so much room for everyone in this space,
Oh
there's
yeah.
so
Oh yeah.
much room.
Oh yeah.
Collectors want more.
Yeah.
Artists want. As an artist myself, I want more talent in this space because it legitimizes it, even more and more. So it would be nice to see more of that happen, and not even just in the way of collaborations, but in the way of, um, helping people and giving newer artists mentors. And Sparrow and I were talking about this on the side, and I've talked about it with Coldy as well. Just having kind of a safe space for people to ask questions and kind of like get pushed along with everyone else.
Yeah.
So working on that is exciting, and good to know that other people are thinking about it as well, because it is really important. And I totally agree with you. Skinny is like super talented and doing crazy
Wow.
stuff, a lot of money. Like you said, a lot of artists don't realize that it is so important to have that business side as well. So it's important, and I'm glad that other people are thinking about it too. Um,
And just a shout out, if you're an artist right there, right now, we're listening to this show or later on, and you're not trying to get traction. Now, Josie, I saw that you have a channel where anybody can post their art. So I left there the invite for MagNFT server. in my server, I have a channel where it's called Artist Share.
That's awesome.
Post your art there because I'll see it, and that's directly linked with the magazine. I just saw one. Here's a scoop. The one just above the invite. Did you see that artist? What he made? I didn't know who that was either. And that was no. You got to go see that. He just
Okay.
actually just put. Yeah. Wow. It's beautiful. Character there. But when I saw that, I was thinking, man, if only these guys would come on the mag, because I would get more. Because, like I said, how do I discover artists? Is usually by Twitter. But if you're able, join the MagNFT server. There's an artist share channel there. Share your art, and I
Yeah.
don't. And what's important when I say share your art, it doesn't matter what type of art. The skill level does not matter. Okay, if you want to share your 5-year-old kid's art, share it. That's a place where people can see the growth of this ecosystem, because no, I'm sure, Josie, you're going to tell yourself, when you started off, there's some clumsiness. It's a new technology, it's new stuff. I'm sure that, what we call the 13 basket, throwing it in the basket, going, I got to start all over again, happens often. So if you're a new artist and you've been refused on some platforms, doesn't matter, come and see us. And also, if you are an artist and want a little bit of support, saying, listen, I don't know how to mint, or I don't know how to tokenize, come to see me on my server. I'll get you guys set up. We got to give praises to OpenSea. It's user friendly, easy to mint. Anybody can learn it in
Amazing.
5 minutes, and you'll have your own storefront with your own art available for anybody to purchase.
With your own contract name, which is important to me. So when you start selling work, it's your name popping up on those rankings, which is
Yeah,
really huge.
yeah.
I love that, and thank you for sharing that also, because I just joined the MagNFT server here, and it'll be a great place to even have. I need to work on this, but instead of just having a lot of these conversations in DM, I can have these conversations in the general chats to help other people who are also wondering the same things. So it'll be a great place to also kind of um, help people in that way and guide people to a server that is just like really embracing everyone in the space, and especially newer people. And I also love that you're like, show even your kids art, show any art.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that to me, that gets to me also, because I keep thinking, and I know I said this on one of my streams, but I keep thinking about the really young people that have come into crypto voxels and have been able to like earn some ETH on their wearables or there
No
was,
shot. Holy
yeah,
smokes, eh? Oh,
yeah. But I mean, even younger than no shot, like I know there's I think he's 11 or 12, a kid that came in and was making CryptoVoxel wearable backpacks and like really amazing quality wearables, like very good. He put in the chat, he said, tell me what countries you guys are from. I'm going to make flags for every country you guys
oh,
mention.
that
And
rocks.
then there was another kid who built out a burger shop with his dad and like was selling tiny voxel burgers for, cheap. But that kind of stuff gets me really excited, because once we start getting like our kids into this sort of thing and getting them really excited about having their own business in the virtual, and maybe I'm totally weird and other people wouldn't do that, but
No.
my kids are going to
Yeah.
live also in the
Yeah.
virtual, have
Yeah, no,
businesses,
that
earn
and
money,
not
like
just
it's
imagine
insane.
that 11 or 12-year-old going to class to make an essay or oral presentation about what he did.
Right.
That's when you're telling me that story. He's 11 or 12. I'm going in my head, oh my God, imagine he goes to school and, he has to do the oral presentation that we all had to do. And he says, today I'm here to talk to you about crypto voxel, where everybody, all the 12-year-olds,
Yeah.
and these kids learn so fast,
So
so
fast.
fast
They are
that you would,
really
yeah,
smart.
we'll have teenagers roaming crypto voxels and hanging out at the arcades.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for the follow, Bit Paint, the beast with two backs, and Xavier. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, no, totally. I agree with that, and I think it's exciting to just see this space grow in that way, and just be so a part of a community, a physical community as well, not just online, but like being in a physical space like that
Yeah.
is really amazing. Um, if you
I was
guys,
disappointed because I was going to go to Waterloo this year.
oh, did
Yeah, I wanted to get a booth and everything, and with the COVID, I guess won't go down. And Waterloo being not too far for me, like
yeah,
only about a 6 hour drive, it would have been amazing because it's one of the biggest Ethereum,
yeah,
here. Yeah, and it's in Canada too. So, but we'll try to find a way to to get it going on and everything. But there's a lot of meetups here in Canada with Rocks. A lot of meetups are in universities now.
mm,
Like I went 2 weeks ago to a basic attention token, BAT and
yeah.
Brave. It was at the McGill University.
Oh, very
Yeah,
cool.
so yeah, 38 people showed up. So
Yeah, there's some really awesome. I mean, I know Canada is huge, and I'm not sure exactly where they are, but there's some really awesome NFT people in Canada. Non fungibles,
yeah,
digital. There's some good showing out there, so they should definitely have more conferences. But even like the virtual ones are really fun for now. Kind of getting to know people through that realm. So who do you mentioned a couple names briefly, but is MagNFT like are you the only person that's working on MagNFT?
well, only person, yes and no. So, example, a lot of people collaboration on editorial, for example.
Sure.
So Bolage will send me a Word document. I just got it's the next issue has the first real writer. So I got somebody that wrote a real article. It's going to be about 3.5 pages long. So I with a little bit more written content. But no, the actual magazine
All
is
you.
hello.
That's your all your art piece.
Yeah, exactly. That's it's all
Yeah.
me, and I enjoyed it. And like now since the COVID is a bit different there, but yeah, like I said, I'm like a collector, so I like to view as much art as I can. And by creating the magazine, it gave me that space to do what I wanted. I had nobody telling me how to do it and everything like that. I did have people that came and that did try that, like don't do this, don't do that. If you remember, I was the one that asked the question to a lot of money about the controversy with the with the trash art movement,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah, you'll, because and here a lot of people. Here's another fact. So we have what is it called again? FOMA. So FOMA is the second magazine now online with NFTs, and FOMA was actually a rebuttal to Whale Shark being part of MagNFT.
Really? I didn't
Yes,
know that.
yeah, it was. So what happened? It was some of the guys thought that Whale Shark was now being was like a part of MagNFT when all that what Whale Shark really did was Whale Shark purchased 5 editions where he was able to curate his own artists,
Mhm.
right? So he gave me financial backing to pay for the software and everything, and it gave him the ability to showcase the artist that he liked. But what they never had noticed was I once in a, and believe me, I did get a little tap because I would put trash art. Well, you had the 5 artists he would pick, and then at the end I would have a trash art artist, and well, sure we go all and but at the same time, FOMA, go check out their magazine. A lot of people say, "Oh, you must have been." I'm not. Why worry? Do you think there's
There's
going to be
space.
only one
Yeah,
magazine?
exactly.
Yeah. Did I think when I created MagNFT I'd be the exclusive monopoly of this?
Right.
Absolutely not. And these guys have a different concept. Their design is different. They have more written articles. They go to the artists and ask them if they want to write something about it, which I think that rocks. It's another venue, right? So yeah, I think that what's weird about the ecosystem is that sometimes they hit butts and eventually they kind of smooth out to become nice and clean, because like now we got people that used to be always going at it like that, and now they're collaborating together, you know
Yeah.
so yeah, friction is good sometimes.
With that note, where do you see the magazine like headed in the next few years? Do you have any like ideas about what the future of it's going to be?
Yeah, about 500 physical copies of magazines in every live event that includes anything with a blockchain event.
All right. That's pretty that's an awesome goal. I would even say, I mean, like I have you know, Bitcoin Magazine, they give away their issues at some conferences, and I have some of the issues at the conferences I've gone to, and it's just so nice to take those home with you and to have that like memory. I mean, conferences is as fun as they could be. For me, at least, they're brutal. Like I am on my feet, 100% of the time for 3 days straight, talking 100%
Yeah.
of the time, showing art, you know, doing all this stuff. They're intense and brutal. So like the magazines are kind of a nice way to like have like a great memory from the conference and take it home. So that would be quite a
Yeah,
cool
and that
thing if
what
you guys
and
did
what I'm
that.
going what I was thinking of doing. So since we won't have a hyperlink, right, because it's a physical copy, I'm gonna add a Q bar.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a Q bar. So instead of being an hyperlink, if it's a physical copy of the magazine, what I'm going to do is change that hyperlink into a Q bar at the corner of each artwork of the pages. So somebody has a cell phone, looks at the physical magazine, can just click right away, get the art piece that he was looking at.
And not only that, you could also have an area where um, they can download Artivive or an AR app and scan
Yeah.
all of the artworks. Because once you, I'll tell you guys, like AR looks really cool online when you're taking a tweet of it, but when you show someone in person the whole thing change right before their
Yes.
eyes, it's a
Yeah.
completely different experience. It's
Yes.
completely different. So that would be also a really cool thing to have in the magazine as well and give that. And to be honest, I bet if you guys had a physical magazine, I bet you could even sell those outside of conferences and have those be sold to the people in the community right now. But I know that's also a big expense to incur, but it's a cool
Yeah,
idea.
but that's the goal. That is my goal. I'd love to be like but at the same time, here's a fact. I know I won't be able to do it alone because I don't have the skill set, I don't have the knowledge. So right now, and don't forget, it's only been 6 months now. So it's only
Right.
been 6 months as the magazine's been running. Once I feel comfortable in the design, I feel that I got everything in place. I'm probably gonna, try and maybe make a call out there, say, hey, is somebody interested in, joining MagNFT and to make it a physical copy that we can set out, sell at a very reasonable price that is affordable for everybody and ship it worldwide. Because, I example Josie, when I featured you, I would have loved to send you a physical copy of that magazine.
I
You
would
know,
love to purchase one also
yeah,
on
but
that note.
yeah,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's like almost like because what I was scared the most was artists would come back and try and say, "Hey, you're trying to utilize me, right? You're trying
Mm,
to use me for your product." So that's why it was so essential to make it as focused towards the artist as I could. So it almost made you forget you were in the magazine, you
yeah.
know? So
And I also think as people get to know you more and get to know like what you're about and what you're doing with this magazine and also even with this stream, like I've gotten to know you so much more than I knew you previously. You also get to know people's intentions.
yeah,
And like you said, you're linking directly to their work, not affiliate stuff. Even though I don't think affiliate links are bad. I'll say that. Like I definitely don't think they're bad as long as it's known that that's what it is. I think that you are giving people the confidence to know that they want to be a part of something cool.
at the same time, here's my point is that so I wanted that the contract. So if example, like if I wanted to make affiliated income, it would always have to be through OpenSea in this
Yeah.
concept, right? And what I don't like is that I'm showing you example an art piece, and then I'm sending you to a platform that is not the original
Mm,
profile of that
sure.
token.
Sure.
So that's why at the same time it was like no, because I want the art. The focus is on the art, right?
Right.
It's not on selling the art. It's the focus on the art. Most of the people can't afford most of the thing on super rare. I can't afford most of the stuff on super rare, you know. But viewing it is a joy in itself,
Yeah.
right? And be able to access that art and go, okay, well, wait a minute, it's on which platform? I click it. Oh, it's on super rare. Oh, look at that. And that for me was is part of the magazine, and I don't see myself being able to take that away and make it only open sea links. The focus has
Sure.
to be on the artwork.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great message. If people in the comments have questions, feel free and drop them, and I'll make sure they get asked. Um, as we're sort of coming towards the end of this, I want to
Yeah.
ask you what you're really excited about in the space, personally for MagNFT. If you guys have anything in particular coming up, and then in the space as a whole.
Okay, so for MagNFT right now, it was supposed to be this June, but we delayed it. I'm gonna do so my user prior to crypto, my username was Ringmaster, and a lot of people wondered why Ringmaster. Well, I sold championship rings to high school for their sports team,
Hmm.
so
I
I'm
remember
I'm
seeing
already
that username in Crypto Voxels chat. Were you going under? Okay, I remember.
yeah
Were you going under Ringmaster for a while
yeah
in Crypto Voxels? Okay,
yeah yeah.
got it.
So Ringmaster, it was me. Was I used to sell championship rings to high school football, hockey, all these teams. So I used to do everything from the actual molding to the actual rings. So I have a background in merchandising. So I'm like you. I'm gonna try and do merchandising for MagNFT. So very soon we're gonna have stickers, T-shirts, hats, and we're gonna be using the MNFT social money only. So you'll be able to purchase that with MNFT, no Ether, nothing, just MNFT, um, to gain traction for the magazine at the same time. So I'm kind of excited and looking forward to that. Um, what am I excited about the space? It's growth, growth. Not a very simple answer. Growth. Let us get more people involved. Let's get more people excited. Um, you know, I'm so happy that the bull run is over, so we don't get the ICOs anymore and all the oh my god, it was so crazy. The big connect and,
Oh
and
God,
oh my god, you
that
know.
was laughable for sure. Those videos were
Uh,
just ridiculous, but
and there's some people that joined after have no clue what I have no clue what we're talking about. But that I still every time I say Bicknut, I still see him yelling it on that
yeah,
stage. And
yeah, no. Yeah, funny fact, I have painted the BitConnect logo before, but it was intentional. It was my very first piece of crypto art, is named Genesis, and I wanted all of the top 200 tokens on CoinMarketCap at the time that I painted it. I wanted all of them in this piece because and obviously knowing a lot of them were scams, but it serves as like a timestamp.
yeah,
And
yeah,
looking back at the piece now, there are a ton of logos that some of them I don't even remember what they were, even
they
if I knew them
were.
at the time. I'm like, wait, what was that again? Because they're all gone. Um, okay, so there are a couple questions that came in the chat. If it was BitPaint asked if it was possible to do this on top of Bitcoin, would you or would you stay on the with just the Ethereum chain? So I
So
think.
good, yeah,
Oh,
very
go
good
ahead.
question. Again, user friendliness. Here it is. So I'm gonna give the best example and people understand it. Users hear about Linux. Oh, Linux is solid. Linux is a operating system everybody should use. Yet Microsoft became the biggest, supplier of operating system. Why? Because it was user friendly. Yet, if we all remember Microsoft 98, Microsoft Millennium, it was a headache because there were so many bugs. But yet, everybody still bought Microsoft. Why? It was user friendly. The only way that the ecosystem can grow is that it has to be user friendly. Ethereum is making it every month. We're getting more and more easier, more easier way to integrate into the Web3 concept, right? So I think that's it. Big. Here's the other issue I have with Bitcoin. You go into the public, everybody knows the name Bitcoin, and then you go Ethereum, and they have no clue what it is you know so yeah, of course, if I could build it on Bitcoin, I would. I think Bitcoin is the most secured ledger. I always say it like this: my checking account is my Ethereum and my savings is Bitcoin.
I'm I'm with you on that. A lot of people know that. I think they have totally two different purposes and are both amazing, and I love both of them, but they do different things for me. But with that said, for me personally, like I, if if NFTs start to make sense on Bitcoin and there's something really cool happening there, 100% I'm
Yeah,
gonna be making NFTs on Bitcoin. But it definitely there's right now, Ethereum just makes so much sense.
The problem with Bitcoin is, so when we had the fork, right? So the first fork that happened with Bitcoin Cash, right? So that first fork, it created a maximalist philosophy where we got clans, right? We started to see clans. As you can imagine, Francis Pouliot doesn't like to invite me to parties anymore because I talk about Ethereum. So,
Yeah.
oh, Francis is a maximalist, there's no doubt about it. Uh, so yeah, I hope Bitcoin, but I think, you know what? I think Bitcoin will, technology-wise, will develop faster once the 26 million Bitcoins or 24, whatever, once that's done, and they won't make any more Bitcoins. I think that people will go and act on try to build stuff on it. You
Hmm.
know, so
I think
maybe
it'll happen before then, but I
I
get
hope
what you're
so.
saying. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
you
Um,
know.
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask the next question. Motive asked, can you talk through again how to get a copy of the magazine?
Okay, so there's two ways. You can get the actual just one issue for 0.05 Ether. All you have to do is just go on OpenSea, type in MagNFT. Now, don't pick the storefront because those are our badges. But you'll see at the user, there's MagNFT. There's two of them. There's Chill, so MNFT, and there's MagNFT. So click on MagNFT, and you'll see the issues right there. There's a few missing right now because I haven't had time to mint some new ones with Codex. That's one way. If you want an actual subscription, how a subscription works is that you're going to get a badge from the MagNFT storefront. Right now, there's badges are 0.75, and that's a subscription for the entire year of 2020. When you buy that, you'll get the 13 issues that were already minted since January. I send those manually to the person, and then you get all the following issues until the end of the year. Every time the issue comes out, I try within the next 24 to 48 hours from the release of the new issue. I then send by batch all the issues to the badge holders. There's different, I started off with different badges. I won't do them anymore. It was a way for me to gain a little bit of, it was like kind of a way to build a little financially a little bit. Like you'll see that there's Genesis badges and stuff like that. But from now on, the only badge that will be available will be the subscription badge, where you get the entire year. So even if you buy it today or you buy it next month, you get all the previous issues of the year, and you'll get all the remaining issues for right. I think it was 0.75 right now, the
That's
price tag.
awesome.
So
And
yeah,
then
so
you
you
can
get
get the PDF and the printable version with that badge
yeah.
as well, right?
Yeah, so the only thing I'm just going to say, it's really important. So when you'll go on Codex Viewer, if you've never been on the platform, do not sign up with your email. Sign up with your Web3 wallet because it needs to recognize the wallet to the token. If you register with your email, it's going to give you a new wallet in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you buy the magazine, one of the issues, and you want to view the PDF, go on Codex. If you're not signed up with them, sign up via Web3. Then I'll ask you to confirm with MetaMask, and then you'll be able to view the private files. There's also graphics. So each issue has the cover page of the issue. You have also the MagNFT logo, the MNFT logo, and you get two PDF files, one that is print and one that is web.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that again. And it's really cool that you're sending all the previous ones and the new ones.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
awesome. If there's more questions, drop them in the chat. I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions.
Let's go. I was waiting for them.
Yep, which you know they're easy and just fun.
Yeah,
All right, Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Ethereum.
Go back 1 year or forward 1 year?
Back 1 year.
Oh, you're the first person who said it. So, would you go back 1 year because you know what the market's going to do and you would trade on it? Or what's your reasoning?
No, for all the mistakes I've made.
Oh, interesting. Okay, you're the first person who said that. Last NFT or physical art piece that you purchased?
Um, Bitjamin.
Okay.
Yeah, Bitjamin.
Um, and what platform? Do you remember?
Yeah, OpenSea. It was an
Oh, nice.
OpenSea. Yeah,
Nice. Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Same. Cats or dogs?
Cat.
Cats. Decentraland, CryptoVoxels, or Somnium Space?
Crypto voxel. Decentraland is getting interesting.
Okay. Window or aisle seat?
Windows.
Window. Someone in the past or present in crypto that you'd like to meet?
Skinny.
Ah, I love that. We're gonna have to go over to Madrid. Um,
No,
favorite.
we're gonna bring him over to Montreal so he can do a few tattoos. I know a lot of people that would love to have this artist on his arm.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I told him he needs to start doing AR for the tattoos. Make it
Well,
do
I
something
told him yes.
crazy.
I'm a gargoyle. I have a fetish for gargoyles.
Oh,
So yeah, I got a few ink on me. I got about 5 ink on me. All of them are gargoyles.
no way. So you want a skinny edition?
Yeah, what a
Um,
skinny gargoyle.
that'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see that. Favorite food?
So favorite food, I'll go with Greek food.
Okay. Texting or calling?
Calling.
Calling. Same. Would you want to live forever?
No.
No. Would you want to live longer than you currently will?
Yes.
Okay. Describe the NFT space in 3 words.
Beautiful, community, and talent.
Those are awesome words. Skinny said, thanks. I will eventually come and I'll sketch some gargoyles soon, TM. That would be awesome. Love to see those.
He
Uh,
made I had he gave me the way beginning. He gave me a few of the pencil NFT he made, but the first purchase I've ever made was his skull, the
mm,
skinny skull of the buffalo skull
oh,
that
yeah.
I sold afterwards, and I still have a pinch in my heart for selling it because it was my favorite piece, and it is still to this day in all the NFTs I've seen that it's simple, nothing
Wow.
complicated, but
Still
yeah,
your
there
favorite.
was yeah, it was just beautiful. Skinny is but all of them that like all of you guys are talented, but Skinny
But
came
there's
to
certain
capture me
pieces
because
that, yeah, resonate with
yeah,
you like
it
that.
just resonated with me.
That's amazing. And I'm really happy to hear that because obviously I briefly knew Skinny before our chat on this show, but really getting to talk with him and know him on the show has given me so much of an appreciation for the work that he does and the time that he spends on every single piece and how important it is to him. And I love through the show for myself selfishly, but also for other people to get that view into their mind and into what they're doing makes their works that much more special. And to kind of know their journey of how they got to that point makes it really special as well. So,
If I had one word for Skinny, it'd be humble. He's such
yeah,
a humble person.
totally. Totally. He's in the comments. He says thanks. I really wish I had time to do more of these. Um, Awesome. Well, thank you guys all for coming on here. I want to make sure, if you don't mind, in my Discord, maybe you could post a link to the OpenSea
Yeah,
MagNFT user
yeah,
so everyone can
yeah,
know where to go for those magazines, and then and any other link that you'd like to share. I saw you shared your channel,
yeah.
which is a great place, and I just joined in as well, so we can continue having this community conversation and
And
other artists can continue showing. Go ahead.
before we end it,
Mm-hmm.
personally, Josie, for myself, and I know hundreds, if not thousands, of people listening. Thank you. What you have done for this ecosystem and this community is outstanding. Your podcast is one of the best things. I hear so many good feedback about your behind the scene, behind the art. What you've done for this ecosystem has to be mentioned. You are a pioneer of this community, and myself personally, I just like to thank you
Thank
because
you.
there's
That's so nice
yeah,
of you.
there's no doubt that um, you earned your space and your place here, but you work so hard to get there, and I commend you for it.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
That's so nice of you. I appreciate it. I I don't know what to say. I'm terrible at taking compliments, but I really appreciate it. And it means a lot to me, even like I always thank everyone on this show for just watching because every single viewer, like I appreciate it, either when you're viewing here or viewing after on YouTube, and the messages I get about it, just getting to know people a bit more on the show. That's my goal, and it means a lot to me. And uh, there's no, there's nothing besides just trying to make the community stronger and kind of more connected. That's the goal of this show. So I appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you everyone in the chat, per usual, being so awesome and active over here and listening to this episode. And I again apologize about being late, and thank you for understanding. And you guys still being champions and just like popping in the chat when I tagged here and coming along this conversation, which is really great. And I'm super glad I got to know you a bit more, and it makes me really just excited about everything you're doing. And now I know another space and community member that's reaching for the larger goal that I'm also trying to reach for. So I'm excited to continue these conversations with you as well. But yeah, thank you everyone. If there's anything that you want to say signing off, go ahead, and then we'll stop the stream here. All right, bye guys.
All right. So